I'm Katie Stone, and this is Stone's Second Sense. Now, today we're going to be diving into something that I think is very interesting. It's not something that I usually hit on, but I think it's important. Not only am I curious because, well, poll numbers, it's kind of important because who's going to be our next president and where are they standing, but with Joe Biden's recent gun control nonsense he's been throwing out there, like his Office of Gun Violence Prevention, I'm curious to see how his numbers are. So let's dive in and see what we have here.
New ABC News Washington Post poll suggests former President Trump has a stronger than ever lead over President Biden, 51 to 42% in a hypothetical head-to-head 2024 matchup. So let's go ahead and bring in ABC News political director Rick Klein. Good morning to you, Rick. So good to see you there. So the big question right now, is President Biden in trouble?
Gio, these numbers are really rough across the board for President Biden across a range of issue areas. And on that big number, 51-42, I should note that is well outside of what we've seen in other recent polls. This poll is an outlier. Other recent polls, our partners at 538 have done an analysis that have it more like a 1 or 2 point race. But whether you think this is going to be a couple of points in either direction, you have to recognize that right now the country is frustrated. Looking inside this poll, the perceptions of the economy are just plain bad. Right now, we have about 30% of the country only saying that they approve of the way that the president is handling the economy. Vast disapproval, and almost a majority of the country saying they're actually worse off than they were at the beginning of the Biden presidency. That's extremely hard to come back from.
Not only is it hard to come back from, but it's miserable for us, the U.S. people. But ladies and gentlemen, the reason I wanted to share that with you is not the second half. The second half I just added in there because who doesn't want to know people's thoughts? But the first half is you can clearly see that this nonsense with his new gun violence stuff is not really helping his campaign or his poll numbers. But yet that's what he's basing his entire campaign off of. And I'm curious to see how the younger generation, which they're aiming all of their gun control ads to, and all this nonsense with Davey and the young Frost guy and all this stuff they're aiming towards the younger generation with gun control. I'm very curious to see if that has affected the younger generation on especially the left side. So let's dive into this next one because I think it's rather important that we go over this and take a look.
It's a simple question of job approval. Barely 40% approve of Joe Biden's performance.
And we have to note 56%. That's the highest disapproval rating for President Biden since he took office. That's significant.
Yeah, so let's take a look at what's driving that too here. In one big area, no surprise, it is the economy. Look at this contrast. This is April of 21, months after Biden took office. Nearly half the country was satisfied with where the economy was then. Now, barely 1 in 4 Americans satisfied with the economy. There's also this. We found an enthusiasm gap between the two parties. We ask folks on a scale of 1 to 10, how enthusiastic are you about the presidential election? And you can see Republican to Democrat, there is a gap right there. Where's the lag for Democrats? We found a couple places. Non-white voters, you could see significantly less enthusiastic than white voters. And then how about this age gap? The youngest group of voters who Democrats have been trying to get excited and motivated, a nearly 50 point gap there.
See, that one really has me really curious because you would think if all of the gun controllers are aiming for that younger generation, but yet they're not even looking forward to voting, maybe there's something missing here. Maybe there's not as many people wanting gun control as they want to make you believe. Or maybe it's the one and only issue, the part where they have everyone brainwashed to the fact that guns are bad. Maybe that's the only issue that they have any control over. You know, I'm really confused. I want to know your thoughts on this because personally, it's clear to me I have not been a fan of the way our current president has ran the country over the last couple years. It's not been a good time for me. But I want to know your thoughts. Everyone has different opinions. Everyone has different thoughts. Let me know down in the comments. Do you think any of these numbers have anything to do with gun control? I mean, of course, they're covering it up by saying, you know, gas prices and economy, which are absolute trash. But do you think any of this has to do with gun control? I mean, are the American people not as for gun control as everyone wants you to believe? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Hit that like and subscribe button, please. Have a great day.